Okay, look, I don't usually do a double upload, but I had to, cause I've been scrolling through TikTok, um, so I saw a video. It said, they will never make a, they should never, if it's ever been thought of, they should never make a Sinners 2. And I looked at her and I was like, well, I watched a little bit and she gave her reasons why, but I'm like, first of all, even if they did, there's no point. What they gonna do? Talk about how Stack living the vampire life? Smoke is dead. Like, I wouldn't see a point in them making a Sinners 2. Okay? What would be the point? What, we gonna find out what happened? What, we gonna go through Sammy's life after the incident that happened at the juke joint? What we gonna do? See what Cornbread and, what's his name? Bo? And, Perlene and, who else? We gonna see Stack and Mary live a vampire life? Like, what? They're not, like, there would be no point in making a Sinners 2. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. I'm sorry for saying what I'm about to say next, but it's true. The movie is already great, and they're not, first of all, it doesn't need a reboot. So if in like 20 years, 40 years, they decide, oh, we want to reboot this, we want to remake this and reboot it, don't. Why would you? Why would you want to? The movie is great itself. Literally, me talking about it, the movie is great. It's the greatest movie of 2025. I literally talked about the movie. I literally posted a video on my YouTube channel, and it says, in the title, it says, the greatest movie of 2025, because it is the greatest movie of 2025. I don't care what anybody says. Greatest movie of 2025. Now, if you think about rebooting that in like 20 or 40 years, don't. Why? Because, first of all, Smoke and Stack are not Smoke and Stack with, first of all, no, trust me. The characters aren't the characters without the actors, okay? The actors did phenomenal in that. It was the greatest movie ever, and the actors did great with the movie. I don't care. And so, don't remake it. Don't. I watched the movie twice, and I'm gonna watch it a third time. I have a feeling before I die, that movie is going to be watched at least 100 times. Okay, it's the greatest movie ever. And so that's what I want to tell y'all. There should not ever be a second movie, one. And two, don't ever try to reboot it. Don't ever try and reboot it. Don't try to ever remake it, because the original is always the best. It's always gonna be great. Okay? There's never gonna be a Sinners better than the original Sinners. Okay? So, this is for all the future producers, writers, and stuff like that. Don't change it. Don't change it. The original is great. Immaculate. Chef's kiss. Okay? I do want to talk about a couple of scenes in there, though. Because I know I didn't talk about... I know that in my first video about talking about Sinners, I mostly just ranted about... I think I mostly just ranted about how good the movie is. And then I saw a video, I scrolled past a video on TikTok that said Grace Yes, she was right. She was in the clear for she was right for wanting to protect her daughter, but she did it the wrong way. And you're right, she did do it the wrong way, cause she shouldn't have just crashed out like that. And also the way that Slim sacrificed his life, cause cause when Sammy was scared and talking about, oh, the devil's gonna come for me, the devil's gonna come. This is my dad said the devil's gonna come for me, and this is the devil coming for me. Slim was like, nah, son, the devil gonna come for me before he get. The devil gonna have to go through his old friend before he go to you. And the way Slim sacrificed himself for them vampires, I was just like, jeez Louise. And, again, greatest movie ever. I like how just about everybody had a love interest, except for everybody that was met in there had either a love interest or were already in relationships. And I'm talking about the actual survivors. Along with, I'm talking about everybody. I'm not talking about everybody who we met kind of like after. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about Slim. I'm not talking about the 3 original vampires. I'm talking about everybody else. Like, Sammy and Perlene, they were a love interest. I could see that working. Stack had Mary. Smoke had Annie. And then, I know that, Grace and I think his name is Bo. I know that they were already in a relationship, so, that was kind of there. And then Cornbread already had his wife when Stack found him. But I love that little part of it. The scene where Stack was like, actually, let's scratch that before I talk about that. I did not like the fact that the vampires preyed on everybody's, mental. Especially Remick doing what he did. He literally just made all the vampires, just play on prey on their mental and on their emotions. He used Stack to play with Smoke's emotions. He used Bo to play with Grace's emotions. That was screwed up with Remick, honestly. I know, yeah, he's supposed to be the villain and everything, but it's still why? That's so cruel. Just playing with their emotions. And then, it's I don't know, something messed with me when he did that. Especially when he started thinking, especially when Remick started playing, especially playing with Grace's emotions. I feel like that's the only reason she crashed out, because Remick got in Bo's head after he changed, and then went and started playing with Grace's emotions with both Bo and himself. That was screwed up in him, honestly. And that's the only reason she crashed out, was because he started speaking he started speaking a different language to her, and she understood it. And now she oh, he getting in his head, and now she want to crash out, especially because he threatened their daughter too. But I would, cause I saw a video of somebody They were doing like kind of like a comedy skit, but they were making it like they were trying to make the scene of Bo talking to Grace funny when he's like he was trying to get Grace to come out or let him in. It was funny, and then I realized, and I didn't think it was. I didn't realize it was Bo. I honestly did not realize that Bo, because see, my memory is terrible, so I didn't realize that. At first, when I first watched the movie, I didn't understand it. But I love how Bo is just standing there while Cornbread is eating the one guy next to them, and he was like, and they were like, and he looks at Grace and goes, "Oh, don't worry about Cornbread." I was like, that's kind of crazy, bro. And then I realized he was a vampire. I was like, yeah, you're cooked. And actually, every single time that somebody went out, like before it even happened, I immediately knew, yeah, you're done for. You're cooked. You're gonna turn into a vampire. And I knew, because I think it's just me being smart and watching so many horror movies. I knew Marion was gonna get got as soon as she went out there. There were already vampires. So I immediately knew Marion trying to get out there and trying to be like, oh yeah, and trying to be nice to them. I was like, yeah, you're cooked. You're done. No more Mary. She's a vampire now. And then Cornbread went to go take a leak in the woods. You're done for. You're cooked. Then Bo was like, went to go get the car. You're cooked. You're done for. He's not making it. And then they were like, oh, he's smart. He probably went to get the car, and then he saw some weird stuff happen, and he just protected himself. No, that man is dead. That man is gone. It's like immediately I know people are cooked as soon as they walk outside the juke joint. You're cooked. I feel like the Stack and Smoke fight scene was great. That was probably one of I liked that scene because it was good. I love that. I honestly thought Sammy was a vampire. Cause they made it seem like it in the beginning of the movie, and then come to find out he's not real. And then again, I also did not watch. I got as far as the first credits, the first end credits after the whole Smoke and when Smoke kills Hogwood, and then him taking Annie handing him the baby, and then them flipping back and forth between him doing that and Sammy in the church, and then Sammy just leaving. I didn't watch the rest of the scene. I didn't watch the end credit scenes. And so after that, I kind of just turned off the movie. But when I watched the second time, I was like, because I thought Sammy was going to turn into a vampire. That's what I originally thought. Because I was like, the vampire, I thought that, because when Sammy left the church, I was like, he's probably going to bring back the vampires and then get turned into one. And then I watched it the second time, and I saw all of the end credits. I was like, no, he lived his whole life, and he almost turned into a vampire. Like, Stack and Mary was down to do it, but then he didn't. And I was like, dang. Well, at least he didn't turn into a vampire. Also, that end scene with that end credit scene where Stack and Mary come to visit Sam, I was like, I thought they were gonna kill him on the spot, but they didn't, and they actually had him play. I was like, ooh, performing, yes. And then it was like they did that, and then they were before Stack fully leaves, Sammy says, some nights I wake up terrified, recalling that night, when I can honestly say that before the sun went down, that was the greatest day of my life. I was like, honestly, yeah, that looked like it. And then he was like, and then Sammy was like, no, Stack was like, he was like, that was the last time I saw my brother. I was like, I thought for a minute, yeah, that was the last time he saw his brother. I honestly feel like that actually, now that I think about it, Joan or Joan, I think her name was Joan, or June, I don't know. The couple, when Remick found the couple, like he was crawling up to their house, I thought for a minute, like I was sitting here thinking as I waited I was like, I paused for a minute, but I sat here and thought about it. I was like, the white couple could have prevented being turned into vampires if they hadn't let Remick in. But then I thought about it. If they didn't let Remick in, Remick was gonna kill them anyways. Because all he had to do was just kill the woman and then run into that house. And if he really felt like there was he really felt like there was a man in there, he could have just ran in there and killed the man too. That's honestly how that could have went. So, but yeah, that's really all I had to talk about. I know I just sat here and ranted about the Sinners movie. It was a great movie. I think tomorrow I'm gonna talk about tomorrow I'm gonna upload a video talking about the New Millennium movie that's out on Netflix, Medea's Destination Wedding. But that's if I feel like that's if I feel like opening up my camera and talking about it. Really feel like doing that. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. So I'll see y'all tomorrow, maybe later. So peace.